The Simpsons is the longest running primetime television show in American history, and since its first appearance back on the Tracy Ullman Show in 1987, the show has developed from a quick last minute pitch by creator Matt Groening to nothing short of a cultural phenomenon, thanks to not only a beloved cast of characters, but also to the genius writing staff the series has employed over the last 3 decades. And through the series' dose of self-aware and witty humour, The Simpsons has become a core part of television history, and a show clearly decades ahead of its time. The show has also become notorious in recent years for its incredible ability to predict future events, such as mutant vegetables, smartwatches, the outbreak of the Ebola virus, the discovery of the Higgs boson particle, and even the election of US presidents, among many other eerie similarities. For a show that's been running for over 25 years, and one that has consistently tried to poke fun at popular culture, it's no surprising that the show may have predicted 1 or 2 events during its tenure, but the sheer amount of bizarre similarities between The Simpsons and the real-life events have made many people theorise that The Simpsons is actually predicting the future. However, in order to grasp a better understanding of the frequency of the show's predictions, I thought it'd be best to turn to someone with a real expertise on the show. So I decided to ask TheRealJims to examine some of the more intriguing instances and whether he believes that The Simpsons does in fact predict the future.
While there are many cases of life imitating art by sheer coincidence or accident, there are instances in which the notoriety of The Simpsons actually pushes this dynamic along. In 1999, The Simpsons produced the episode E-I-E-I-Do, in which Homer inadvertently invents the tobacco plant. 4 years later, a fan of The Simpsons, Rob Bauer, grew his own real-life version of the plant. The basis of the story on The Simpsons was built upon actual fact, that one can graft a tomato plant onto a tobacco root. This may have been coincidental on the part of the writers in coming up with the episode that such a plant could physically be possible, but this is an example of The Simpsons causing life to deliberately imitate art. Now, this sort of dynamic is not unique to The Simpsons by any means. It is somewhat common in the science fiction genre, as technology often advances to catch up with what had been seen in Star Trek or Star Wars, for example. The Simpsons have dabbled in making these kind of predictions as well. The season 6 episode, Lisa's Wedding, predicted several pieces of tech we still use today. Stuff like Lisa video chatting with her mother, or her fiancé communicating with his smartwatch. They didn't quite get the robotic exploding librarians or the gardeners correct, but they did at least nail the Rolling Stones reunion tour prediction. One of the most brazen predictions by Simpsons writers is contained in the season 3 episode, Lisa the Greek. The climax of that episode hinges on Lisa's prediction for Super Bowl 26, between the Washington Redskins and the Buffalo Bills, with Lisa picking the Redskins. In the Simpsons universe, the Washington Redskins do indeed win the Super Bowl, fulfilling Lisa's love toward her father. This would have been quite awkward and hilarious in hindsight if the Bills did end up winning the game, especially now that that episode is preserved forever in DVD and syndication. The following years, Fox re-aired the episode before the next 3 Super Bowls, redubbing a few lines with the new team's names. Lisa correctly predicted the next 3 winners in each successive year: the Cowboys over the Bills once again, and then finally the 49ers over the Chargers in Super Bowl 29. It may be possible that the Simpsons got lucky with their dub and simply picked against the Bills every year. Poor Buffalo. But regardless, the Simpsons managed to make an accurate prediction of the future for 4 consecutive years.
The most popular of all of these predictions, however, comes from a season 11 episode titled Bart to the Future, first aired on March 19th, 2000, wherein Bart is shown a glimpse of his future where he is a washed-up wannabe rock star living with Ralph Wiggum, while his sister Lisa has become President of the United States. However, the notable part of this future is whom Lisa took over the role of president from. In the episode, Lisa makes reference to a budget crunch which America is faced in, one she inherited from President Trump. This now 17-year-old clip went viral online soon after the real Donald J. Trump announced his intentions to run for office in the 2016 presidential elections, an election he would later win, becoming the 45th President of the United States. When asked about the reference, the episode's writer Dan Greaney told The Hollywood Reporter that it just seemed like the logical last step before hitting rock bottom. It was pitched because it was consistent with the vision of America going insane. Furthermore, after the official inauguration of Trump as president on January 20th, 2017, the show's creator Matt Groening told The Guardian, "We predicted that he would become president back in 2000, because Trump was of course the most absurd placeholder joke name that we could think of at the time," going as far as to describe the gag as beyond satire. While the show definitely does have a knack for ironically predicting the future, I wouldn't call it anything other than coincidental. And while it's entirely possible that the show has inspired some of these incidents, I'd say it's more likely that, as Groening stated, it's simply their attempt at satire in a world which just so happens to be a little too self-satirical for comfort. As stated by Dr. John Donaldson, Professor of Philosophy at the University of Glasgow, the reason for all of these coincidences is because it's a show about life. He states that it deals with situations close to our own hearts and touches on themes we see in our day-to-day lives, so it's unsurprising that some of the things they touch on can become a reality. In addition, as Kevin DeMatter stated in Countercultural Literacy, Learning Irony with The Simpsons, the show is the most consistently and intelligently ironic on television, and while many other traditional American sitcoms attempt to resolve the large structural problems of American culture, The Simpsons instead attempts to satirize these issues, offering the notion that despite these problems, one can remain happy and sane, living at a somewhat oblique angle. To The Simpsons, irony is the analytical tool of choice, and the show uses it to great effect, which is probably the reason why it attempts to satire modern society and culture so frequently, and why therefore it seems to predict the future so much. The Simpsons seeks to discuss the world around it through the lenses of humour, holding a funhouse mirror up to the world, distorting its reflection. It's just that sometimes the world it's trying to distort isn't perfect itself. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please make sure to leave a comment down below and discuss anything we talked about in the video itself. What do you think about the history of The Simpsons predicting the future? And why do you think it manages to do it so frequently? I want to give a big special thanks to TheRealJims for helping me on today's video. If you're not familiar with his channel, you definitely should be. I will leave a video right there of his that you should definitely check out, and a link to his channel will be in the description as well. If you enjoyed this video though, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. For more videos like the one you're watching right now, you can follow me on Twitter at OwenXComics, and if you want to help me make more videos, you can support the channel on Patreon. That's it for this video guys, and I will see you next time. So until then, take care and keep reading.